and other NLD members were not allowed to campaign even during the election, but they still won 80-some% of the seats in Parliament. I went there as an international delegation in 2000 and spoke with Aung San Suu Kyi, and she said that deliberation did begin, but the moment the SLORC realized that they were all going to be essentially fired and the Constitution was going to be made a little more democratic, they put everybody in prison. And SLORC was at that time taken over by Than Shwe, who is now the leader of the military dictatorship, and they changed their name to the State Peace and Development Council, your kindler, gentler junta. And since then, Aung San Suu Kyi has been in house arrest for 11 of the last 17 years, and she is dedicated to a non-violent opposition to this brutal dictator that still has not seen the election as legitimate and given power to the National League for Democracy.
I think in January, the United Nations wanted to speak to the crisis there. The 3,000 villages destroyed, over 1 million refugees.
On the eastern border, there was a resolution. We've been trying for 10 years now to just get Burma on the UN Security Council's permanent agenda. And last year, with the efforts of this media event, we had 270 events happening internationally in 14 different countries to celebrate Aung San Suu Kyi's birthday, the Arrest Yourself weekend, we call it. Soon after, in September 16th or 15th, Burma was put on the UN Security Council's permanent agenda. In January, a resolution was brought forth by the United States, but we didn't make it. Russia and China, Burma's biggest supporters, were against it, but also South Africa, which still confuses me. Politics, you know.
That's interesting.
So we're trying again to push for another resolution, or more resolutions.
You were in Burma in 2000, you said?
1999, I went there to the refugee camps.
Can you describe that experience, what you saw?
Yeah, I went to a lot of different organizations, NGOs, non-governmental organizations, who work with the ABSDF, who work with the NLD, who work with the KNU, a lot of acronyms over there.
And those are?
Korean National Union, the All Burma Democratic Front. They are different resistance groups.
Yeah, different
Some of them work
groups.
with IDPs, internally displaced persons. Spent some time at Cynthia's clinic in Mae Sot. Went over into Burma with some of the people that work with internally displaced persons. And then in 2000, I was there as an international delegate for a conference on education in Burma, because the junta just released this big news article saying that they've opened the schools again and their education system is wonderful. We went there to interview teachers. There was a big conference at the NLD headquarters, which Aung San Suu Kyi was the head facilitator. And we had lunch with her. And
What was that like? So you met
brilliant
face to
woman,
face?
brilliant woman, very humble and well-spoken. Just a very, very powerful energy.
So people have been in camps for 20 years, some of these folks, and they are in camps on the border with Thailand, is that correct?
They're actually on all the borders, but I was just there on Thailand. We brought some medical supplies, toys for the kids, books, clothing, did some interviews on those refugee camps. The refugee camp we went to in Burma in 1999 was no longer there in 2000. We went there to give the kids immunizations and things of that sort. The other situation over there is the sweatshops and the labor. We did some interviews with unrecognized workers. It's devastating.
What were they making?
I brought home some of the things. It's a lot of shoes, a lot of trinkets, things made out of plastic, little knickknacks. One thing that was incredible to find was a very little plastic Statue of Liberty. And I said, "Do you know what this is?" And they said, "Yeah, it's America." And I said, "No, this is the Statue of Liberty. This is a representation of freedom, and it's being made in a sweatshop. And then people buy these trinkets without even thinking of where they're made from."
Are these items that end up in America?
Oh yeah, a lot of, if you see anything that says made in Myanmar, it's going to a military dictatorship. Specifically, if you see it made in Thailand, it doesn't mean it's going to the military, but be careful.
The shoes were, do you remember the brand?
Yeah, I was asking them and they didn't know, because they're just making a side part of it. Yeah, and I tried to take pictures, and I think it's a Southeast Asian shoe. It wasn't Nike or anything, but I was looking.
Other parts of Asia that it was going to. This event that you're going to do again, June 14th and through 19th, kind of a big party, you described it. At the time of Aung San Suu Kyi's 62nd birthday. But it's a serious matter. So what are you going to be doing?
The world record right now is 110 still. We did beat it last year, but because of some discrepancies in the way we took the evidence, the video evidence, I didn't even submit it because it wasn't organized enough. At Future Green in Milwaukee is where we have the event, 2352 South Kinnickinnick. In order to have a world record, you have to have witnesses present at all times. And not just one. You need 2 time witnesses and 1 health witness at all times, 24 hours a day. So to schedule this in is incredible. It has to be in a public place, but finding people from 11 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning is difficult. So we need people to sign up for their shift. You'll learn about how to fill out forms and what it means to go for a world record, as well as learn about Burma. One of the interviews from Aung San Suu Kyi, and I also read something about the communist bloc in China, the oppression against the Falun Gong practitioners. There's also a lot of human rights books that I read, things from the United Nations, things from Gandhi. Yes Magazine is a brilliant magazine, the Positive Futures Network, and they donated 2 books of their articles. And then I teach piano and guitar, and so my students showed up, and I read some Shel Silverstein to them and some Dr. Seuss. A few of them brought their sleeping bags and stayed overnight, so I read them bedtime stories. We did some fun stuff like Monty Python, Lily Tomlin. We stayed serious most of the time, but after 100 hours of negativity, you have to have some positive stuff to keep energized.
So the meeting is where? The organizing?
It is going to be at Future Green.
And that's in Milwaukee?
And that's in Milwaukee. The phone number is 414-294-4300, and that's at 2352 South Kinnickinnick.
Did you have Madison folks help you out last time?
Yeah.
So a shout out to them again.
Yeah. Okay. This year we're going to get much more help, I'm hoping, and these 270 events around the world, we're hoping to make it 300 this time. There is a group in Maryland that's going to be doing a mini talkathon, and so we're thinking if we can get all of these groups around the world doing little readathons, that would be even better.
When a record is made, does Guinness World Records make a big announcement?
If you want to make it legitimate, you do have to go through their protocol and send specific evidence in to them. They do have adjudicators that will come, but we don't have the finances to do that.
It's serious, but it would be kind of amazing if you showed up at one of their popular museum sites.
It would be nice to exploit that by taking it on the road and talking about Burma and just getting people aware of not only what is going on, but what they can do about it.
And the actual event is on June 14th through the 19th.
June 14th through the 19th. We're going to end on her birthday.
And where's that going to be?
That's going to be at Future Green.
At Future Green.
The same place.
Oh. Hey, thanks, Michael, for being here. And if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
They could send an email to the U.S. Campaign's website, uscampaignforburma.org.
Yes, and that's actually a very excellent website, and you can read more about the UN Security Council stuff there as well, and more about Aung San Suu Kyi and the issues in Burma. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break and come back with Samantha Jordan of the Madison Peace Coalition.